Here we are. We're back. Today we are going to talk about this guy. It's a Charter Arms Police Bulldog 38 Special Revolver. Um, yeah, we'll talk about it and how I got it and what's cool about it. All right, let's do that. All right, so here it is. With some neoprene grips that were pretty correct for the era that I actually found at my old work, just on the wall, just waiting for this project. So we got like a 2-inch barrel here. Cool thing about this, guys, is 6 shots of 38 special versus most Charter Arms at the time, which were only 5. So, I always loved carrying revolvers. I still carry them occasionally, but every time I looked at like a 5-shot revolver, I was always like, ugh, I'm gonna be even more underarmed than most people with 5 shots versus 6. Some people, that's not a big deal. For me, it's just a mental hang up. It's a personal preference, so it's just fine. But also, cool thing about this guy is that is one of the very few Charter Arms revolvers that actually is rated for plus P ammunition. If you look in the old manual for this guy, when I first got this, it was not in this kind of shape. This was my first attempt at cold bluing something, which turned out, as you can see, not super great. It's worn through in a few areas. Because I think when I did it, I used CLP to cure the bluing afterwards. You're supposed to put oil on it and let it cure for 24 hours or something like that, I believe. I'd have to look it up again. But I used CLP, so the finish actually wore off pretty quick, but it's kind of cool. I like it because it looks its age now. These were made in the late 70s, early 80s. I think they started making the 2-inch barrel of the Police Bulldog in, I want to say, like 82, 81, 81, I believe. But other than that, everything's pretty standard. Double action, single action, normal Charter Arms revolver. Trench sights, you can see there, are not super great. I did paint the front sight red to make it a little bit more visible, which may or may not have worked. I have not blackened the trigger guard in the grip frame yet, just because I don't know, kind of like the bare aluminum look with the blued. It looks nice, matches the hammer. When I got this, it was not in this kind of shape. Here's a picture of it on Gunbroker when I was bidding on it. Then here's a picture of it when I put it back together. Best thing about this whole experience was actually talking to Charter Arms about this firearm. It was missing a piece. Well, 2 pieces really. It's missing the spring and detent for the cylinder release. As you can see it right there, that little detent there, that was missing completely. Same with the spring. So I called Charter Arms, and they, without even any hesitation, were like, "Oh, what's your address? Let me send you some." So they sent me a spring and 2 detents. 1 detent I promptly sent across the room because it is a pain in the butt to get these in. They do make a special tool that I'm sure is extremely helpful, and if a company makes a tool to do something, you should probably get it, but I didn't. So got it in there. I haven't taken it apart since after rebluing it, but they sent it to me without anything. I was like, "How much do I owe you?" And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Wow, awesome, thanks." And then about a year later, I called them and I was like, "Hey, I need a new mainspring. I'm starting to get a lot of light strikes. How much is that? And they're like, don't worry about it. We'll send you one right now. No big deal. What's your address? Blam. In the mailbox. Super great company. It was actually there really quick too. They didn't drag their feet on shipping it out to me either. So honestly, if a company will basically warranty or fix or send you replacement parts for a firearm that you bought in a bag of parts off of Gunbroker for $60, yeah, that's the biggest steal out of this. Is I only paid about $61 shipped for this, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, if they stand by their product for that long and are willing to send you out parts that most companies would charge you $10-15 for, you know, they get an A+ in my book, honestly. Every time I called them and talked to them, they were nice. I've actually interacted with one of the owners of the company on a Facebook group. Super great. Great company, great people. I'll definitely be looking at more stuff from this company in the near future. Really cool gun. I'm really happy that I bought this. I bought it on a whim. It kind of turned into one of my everyday carries for a little while. And, you know, when I just need to throw something in the pocket and go out the door and do something real quick and I don't want to strap up all the big stuff, this is it. This is what I take every time. It's also my I don't feel so good, so I'm gonna go to the store and get some medicine gun. It's my you know, taking the dogs for a walk gun. It's a great all around gun. I think every firearms owner should own a small snub nose revolver, just cause it's a nice little tool to have in your toolbox. Anyways, let's pop back up and we'll wrap this up. All right. Charter Arms Police Bulldog. You know, great little gun. I really enjoyed this thing. It was a lot of fun to put it back together and re-blue it and kind of work out all the weird kinks and issues it had when I first got it. When I first got it, you know, I would get light strikes all the time. Replace the mainspring with a newer one, and that solved that. As you can see, there's a lot of like pitting on it in places, mainly this side. It probably sat in somebody's sock drawer for a decade, and then just gathered humidity and got rusty, and then somebody decided to remove all the bluing with probably a steel brush or something like that, and couldn't figure out how to put it back together. I don't know. I don't really know why I ended up with this in pieces with all its bluing removed, but I enjoyed putting it back together and re-bluing it, and you know, the fun that came from that. I took off the serration from the trigger right here. You can see it's smooth and shiny. That just feels better to me. I've never been a fan of serrated triggers. And then one thing that actually helped the trigger pull and the feel of the action and everything was smoothing out the guide rod and the spring of the grip, or not the grip, the mainspring. There's a guide rod that goes in and out of that, and it's held in by place by a little piece of flat metal, and when you pull the trigger, it basically plunges through that and it scrapes along it. If there's any kind of imperfections or scratches or dings or dents or pitting on the guide rod, you'll feel it in the trigger pull. So basically just sanding that smooth and polishing it to a mirror finish basically fix that whole thing. It's a lot smoother. It's not 100% because I'm sure there's a lot more things I could do to smooth out the action, but right now it's good enough for me. It's a lot better than it used to be. You know, I feel like I'm constantly opening this thing up and tweaking a little bit here, tweaking a little bit there. I don't carry it much these days. I've been carrying my Smith & Wesson 39 -2, and you know, these two together is very representative of like a late 70s, early 80s carry combo, primary and backup. You know, both at one point in time, you know, probably cock guns. So, more on this guy later. This, you know, from just buying it on a whim to really, really enjoying it and having fun with it has been a blast. The parts inside of this thing are minimal. This is 1911 dead simple inside. You know, great job, Charter Arms, designing a solid revolver that works well and making it in America. You had some dark periods, but I'm glad that you're making good stuff again, and I'm glad that you made good stuff in the past. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, subscribe. Let me know. I don't know. Maybe 3 of you will comment on this, and we'll talk. I'm just doing this to have fun. I just want to share cool stuff with you guys. Let me know what else you want to see. I've got a couple more things I want to show y'all, and hopefully some more projects coming up in the future. Yeah. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Do it. Just do it. Just freaking do it. Bye.